Rigiji yako hapo jikoni ndio na chora maneno. And I want to assure the people of Kenya, we have a formula to give you good leadership.
How does a democracy grow? The democracy grows when you have men and women of character in power. Democracy grows when you have a president who reads Deuteronomy or and he reads the 8th commandment of thou shalt not steal.
With the opposition led by Rigathi Gachagua neutralized President William Ruto and the Kenya's political wind.
Ndio mumeona saa ile mlinyamaza watoto wetu ya Gen Z wakaongea. Kwa sababu nature abhors vacuum. Somebody must speak.
Time will tell. Davis Karani, GBS News.
Moving on swiftly, President William Ruto today led mourners to lay the late Chepalungu legislature John Koech to a final rest in Bomet County. The president described the late member of parliament as a humble servant and a leader of high integrity. Here is more from Chepalungu.
Paying the last respect to a fallen hero. This is President William Ruto today at the final send-off of former Chepalungu MP John Koech in Chepalungu constituency, Bomet County.
Katika jina la Yesu aliye mwokozi wetu, tunaweza kuketi. Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, Your Excellency Dr. William Samoei, karibu sana kwa ibada hii yetu.
So mimi nataka niseme pongezi, tumekuja kumsherehekea mzee huyu. Katika uongozi wake alikuwa kiongozi mpole, mwadilifu, and a man of integrity.
Then came time for the president to elaborate on the austerity measures taken by the government earlier to stabilize the economy.
Matatizo tumekuwa nayo ya kiuchumi, madeni na nini. Sasa tumedhibiti uchumi wa Kenya. Dola ilikuwa imefika 167, sasa tumeidhibiti for the last 1 year, iko 128, 129 hapo. Tumeshikilia vizuri. Inflation ilikuwa imefika 9.something%, tumeidhibiti sasa iko 3.5, na mambo yale mengine yote.
The head of state further urged Kenyans to register themselves with SHA for health coverage.
Tukukuwa na data ya health ambayo ingetusaidia katika planning mambo ya delivery ya health ya Kenya. So by registering, you are helping us to assemble the data that will help our government, national and county, to deliver on our constitutional mandate of health. That data is very important. Tumekubaliana na magavana ya kwamba KEMSA tumewaongezea pesa karibu shilingi bilioni 10. Sasa tumesema madawa inatoka moja kwa moja kutoka KEMSA mpaka dispensary. Moja kwa moja kutoka KEMSA mpaka health center. So that we cut down on the red tape na madawa ipatikane hospitalini.
The president also reaffirmed his commitment to ensure the country remains united through the broad-based government.
Na mimi niliamua ya kwamba Kenya tutaiunganisha iwe moja. Na ndio sababu nimetengeneza serikali ya broad-based. Huyu John Koech hapa alikuwa member ya broad-based ya serikali nyingine ilikuweko siku nyingine. Kwa hivyo tuko safari moja. Ile broad-based ya siku ile ilifanya kazi ya siku hiyo. Hii broad-based ya sahi itafanya kazi ya sahi.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen, also in attendance, read a riot act on hooliganism which has become so common in the country recently.
Hakuna ile kelele ya huyu ule kwa mazishi. And I think under your leadership we will work hard in the security sector, Your Excellency, to ensure that there is order in the country. And Your Excellency, we will also deal not just those who organize kelele kwa wengine, ni also others who also organize the same kelele to seek sympathy. All of them will be treated equally because we do not want people to create chaos in the country.
Let us have limits ya ile maneno ambaye unaweza kusema kuhusu yule ambaye amekalia kiti. Sababu a president is a symbol of national unity. You cannot reduce and make that position to be about ridicule just simply because you hate the person that is occupying. What about the country called Kenya?
Victor Jun, GBS News at 9.
The Ministry of Education, through Cabinet Secretary Julius Ugamba, has issued a stern warning to school heads against inviting non-teachers, often called outsiders, to train or supervise students in co-curricular activities such as drama, music, sports, and related fields. This directive comes in the wake of controversy surrounding the Butere Girls High School play, Echoes of War, which was directed by an individual not registered as a teacher. The ministry cited Teacher Service Commission Circular Number 14, 2018, which exclusively prohibits the involvement of non-registered individuals, including those removed from the Teacher Service Commission register, in any teaching, coaching, or supervision role within school programs. Schools found contravening these regulations risk facing disciplinary action, and school head will be held liable for any breaches. The Kenya National Drama and Film Festival regulations also require that only registered teachers or authorized tutors be involved in training and supervising festival entries.
VTC is
with respect to the Butere girls that you are asking, I know the BOM met yesterday to look at the whole issue, and they'll be presenting to us a report whether those regulations were followed, whether the policies were followed, because that is institutional. Once that decision is made, then we'll make a decision on what to do from there. It's unfortunate that they did not present, though as you are aware, they were given the opportunity to present that particular day, but voluntarily decided not to do so.
Well, it is time to take a short break. Keep your feedback streaming into our social media platform at GBS TV Africa. The SMS line is 21114. We'll be right back.
My name is Tracy Otonde. I'm Miss County Nairobi, and I'm also Miss Advocacy East. Modeling is an art by virtue of the model and by virtue of the designers. That's if we look at modeling in terms of pageantry. You're showcasing yourself. You yourself is a work of art. You're a work of art, and you're showcasing everything that's in you and within you. And by virtue of the designer is because you keep showcasing the attires that they're made for you, and you have to look the part for you to be able to showcase what the designer was picturing. So yeah, modeling is an art.
Welcome to Fun Art Class. Today we are going to make a sailboat. First, you fold a triangle, a half. Friends, today we made a sailboat.
A student can transition from other curriculums, such as the Kenyan CBC curriculum, the Pearson EdXL curriculum, and the IB curriculum, to the Cambridge curriculum.
So today's topic is Rising Stars, young people who create, influence, and inspire. So
on an honest note, creating is hard work. and there are people who I see their work and they are constantly pushing themselves.
Okay.
Like wanajipush, kujipush, like they are putting creativity up top over there.
I think no one also prepares you for the fact that the better you become.
The networking is also very good. You see, there are people who have passion for, videography, creating videos, editing. There are people passionate about that. If you are someone who talks and you meet people and you love people, you'll definitely meet someone who's just waiting to shoot you.
But also in terms of what I put out, it goes back to what are your values? What are your values? What are your beliefs? So as much as this is trending, yes, that is trending. Does it align with your values? Does it align with your beliefs?
You can be a star without the star position.
Si
lazima ukue hapo mbele ya watu. Si lazima wewe ndo ukue star, ndo ukue star. Hata ukiwa hapa chini, wewe bado ni star. And as she has said, discipline is a big thing.
Anza wiki yako kwa njia sahihi kwa GBS Jumatatu.
Niko nawe hadi mida ya saa 4 asubuhi. Kwanza niseme asante kwa kuzidi kufuatilia na kutazama vipindi vyetu ambavyo huwa tunakuandalia hapa ndani ya GBS TV Jumatatu. People are now seeing the money that have been given to church as a bribe.
Jiunge nasi kila Jumatatu asubuhi kuanzia saa 1:30.
Nimesikia mwenzangu akifanya hesabu hapo ya vile ambavyo miungano zitakuwa. Ruto is going to fail whether with Raila or without Raila.
Kuna mahali anakosea akisema ati Raila na Ruto wataungana. Hakuna kuungana iko hapo, ndugu yangu, aje nikwambie ukweli.
Hadithi za kunoga.
Ukiangalia Wakenya, wananchi wa Kenya, pia hao maisha yao imedhulumiwa kwa kuongezwa kwa taxes, ziko very high taxes. So the statement by Rigathi Gachagua is just statement ya kumcheck that we can see you we can see between the lines.
Na mazungumzo yenye nguvu ya kukuletea utulivu kwa wiki yako.
Ati Raila ataingia UDA hapo
nasema hivi mheshimiwa, ikiwa Raila
itakuwa, mimi naona itakuwa
hadi saa 4 za asubuhi kwa majadiliano ya kusisimua.
Mheshimiwa Rais William Samoei Ruto ajue ya kwamba sasa yeye ni president wa Kenya. Sio mambo ya kufanyia wana Kenya mzaha. Kupoteza biashara kwa siku moja katika CPD, nafikiria ni jambo ambalo ni rais.
Usikose, ingia kwenye GBS TV. Anza Jumatatu yako kwa kusudi.
If the government does not spend, my brother, hakuna maendeleo inaonekana, hakuna barabara zinatengenezwa, hakuna dawa kwa hospitali, my friend, economies will not grow.
Tuonane panapo majaliwa yake Mwenyezi Mungu.
GBS Jumatatu, palipo mjadala wa leo na mwelekeo wa kesho.
So today's topic is rising stars, young people who create, influence and inspire. So
on an honest note, creating is hard work, and there are people who I see their work and they are constantly pushing themselves.
Okay.
Like wanajipush, kujipush, like they are putting creativity up top over there.
I think no one also prepares you for the fact that the better you become.
The networking is also very good. You see, there are people who have passion for, videography, creating videos, editing. There are people passionate about that. If you are someone who talks and you meet people and you love people, you'll definitely meet someone who's just waiting to shoot you.
But also in terms of what I put out, it goes back to what are your values? What are your values? What are your beliefs? So as much as this is trending, yes, that is trending. Does it align with your values? Does it align with your beliefs?
You can be a star without the star position. Si lazima ukue hapo mbele ya watu. Si lazima wewe ndo ukue star, ndo ukue star. Hata ukiwa hapa chini, wewe bado ni star. And as she has said, discipline is a big thing.
Everywhere, GBS.
And welcome back. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has said that the government will support families of members of the clergy to get a chance to serve in various positions in public service. Speaking to members of the clergy on Tuesday, April 15th, in Nairobi, the DP said that the government will collaborate with the church leadership to support and ensure that families and dependents of some members of the clergy get a chance to serve the country in various capacities as a way to appreciate and honor their dedication in praying and advocating for the people of the Republic of Kenya. Additionally, Kindiki has reaffirmed that the government will be at the forefront in helping churches which lack and are struggling to acquire title deeds for their land and properties get legitimate title deeds. In the recent past, the church has put the government, especially church government officials, under heavy scrutiny, with the clergy stressing that the politicians should avoid engaging churches in politics.
Mimi nimefika hapa leo kuwaambia kwamba tunashukuru vile mnatuombea, pray for the government, because the Bible says there is no authority except that which comes from God. And to say that is not to say that you must not correct us when we go astray. Please correct us. What we plead for is that you correct us in love. Yes, don't talk to us. Don't talk to us as if over and above the correction you have other issues. Your role should be to correct us and bring us back. So correct us in love. And we are listening, government. We will listen. We will adjust where we are not doing well, and your input suggests that we do it differently. We will incorporate your views. I know, for example, many church congregations have issues about their property, about title deeds for the property they own, and I want to assure you the government of Kenya, working again with your leadership, will be able to resolve as many of the issues that affect our churches that are struggling to get legitimate title deeds for their properties.
Education stakeholders have urged increased investment in robotics education to cultivate creativity and problem-solving skills among students. The call was made at the 3rd Engineering and Science Contest in Embu, hosted by Simastia. Speakers emphasized that necessity of providing adequate robotic kits and hands-on training to equip learners for the evolving technological landscape and to promote STEM fields, a key government focus now. The firm is actually actively implementing STEM programs, including innovation camps and digital literacy initiatives, and conducts practical boot camps in areas like coding and robotics.
Because the function of the ultrasonic sensor is to sense any object, less the chance to assist even our structure of robot. We have built it in such a way that it does not only help those who are able, but also the disabled people. You can use it in movement.
Science Congress has been quite a large and very exciting journey. It's given us the motivation, it's given us creativity, and overall it's just an amazing experience and a fair to be in.
We've had several challenges, especially for the learners. Most of the schools facilitation in terms of projects they have not had. We could see some students had great ideas, but the financial support has not been there. So we would have wished the government to really come in handy in ensuring that those projects that are proceeding to national fair, they are funded well, so that the real idea that the learner.
Hundreds of Tunisians protested in the small central town of Mozona on Tuesday after a school wall collapse killed 3 high school students in the town. The demonstrators gathered near town's National Guard post to demand justice for the 3 Sikhs former killed on Monday. Now, video circulated on social media showed residents blocking surrounding streets with burning tires. Inland districts of Tunisia away from the tourist resorts of the Mediterranean coast have long complained of underinvestment by the government. Now, Mozina lies some 70 kilometers, that is 40 miles from the city of Sidi, birthplace of the 2011 revolution that toppled longtime President Zain El Abidine Ben Ali in the first of the Arab Spring uprisings. Tunisia's powerful UGTT Trade Union Confederation called for schools nationwide to go on strike in protest at the authorities' failure to find real and serious solutions to save public schools. The office of President Kais Saied, he had called for care in the future to prevent such painful incidents from recurring and to accelerate the necessary maintenance work in all educational institutions. Well, Ivory Coast politician Thiam is pressing ahead with his bid for the October 2025 Ivorian presidency after a court ruling dismissed challenges to his nationality. Critics had claimed he lost his Ivorian status, but his legal team presented a certificate confirming his eligibility. Thiam remains a key position figure with a Democratic Party of Côte d'Ivoire set to officially nominate him as their candidate. However, legal hurdles remain and technical challenges could still block his candidacy as the election approaches. Here's more on the report.
Janet Thiam is pressing ahead with his bid for the October 2025 Ivorian presidency, despite accusations from a dissident within his own party about his nationality. A judge recently ruled that she was not competent to address the case, which allowed Thiam to continue with his campaign. Critics argue that his renunciation of French citizenship leaves him without Ivorian nationality, but Thiam's lawyers have provided a certificate confirming his Ivorian status. Thiam, a leading opposition figure, remains a key challenger to President Alassane Ouattara's camp, which has yet to announce a candidate. The court ruling clears the way for Thiam to attend the upcoming Democratic Party of Côte d'Ivoire convention, where he is expected to be officially nominated as their candidate. However, the legal challenges are far from over, as there are still potential technicalities that could be used to block Thiam's candidacy as the election approaches. Elvin Muyodi, GBS News.
Ukraine launched a massive drone assault on Russia's Kursk region. The attack left an elderly woman dead, injured 9 others, and caused severe damages, including fires in multiple buildings. Furthermore, a new wave of Russian missiles hit the Ukrainian city of Sumy just 1 day after a deadly assault. Now, people on Palm Sunday. Local authorities confirmed no new casualties. Here's more on the scene.
The Kursk region's administration confirmed
the overnight assault, which resulted in the tragic loss of life and widespread destruction. An 85-year-old woman was killed and several others were injured. The drone attack damaged a multi-story apartment building in the regional capital. The building caught fire and residents were evacuated to a nearby school. Additionally, the drone strike targeted an ambulance garage, damaging 11 vehicles. A new missile strike on Sumi, which occurred overnight, followed a devastating attack on Sunday, where 35 people were killed, including 119 who were injured. Ukraine's government has accused Russia of intentionally targeting civilians in Sumy. In contrast, Russian Ministry of Defense claimed that their missile hit a meeting of Ukrainian military officers, citing the presence of more than 60 soldiers. No casualties were reported in the new wave of missile strikes in Sumy. This recent assault reflects the growing frequency of cross-border attacks as both sides continue to exchange blows. The human cost of this war continues to rise, with thousands of civilians, especially in Ukraine, already having lost their lives in the conflict. With tensions still high, the ongoing conflict underscores the complex nature of this war, which has shown no signs of stopping. This is Abdi Hamid Ali, GBS News.
As at least 51 people have been killed in a brutal overnight attack on 2 villages in Plateau State. The attackers, suspected to be cattle rustlers, left a trail of devastation with dozens injured and homes destroyed. Our reporter Elvis Muyodi has more on the story.
Gunmen suspected to be cattle rustlers launched a deadly overnight attack on 2 villages in Bassa district, Plateau State, leaving at least 51 people dead. Victims were brutally shot and hacked, and dozens more sustained injuries. Local residents say a mass burial was held for those killed. Plateau, a state often caught in clashes between Christian farmers and Muslim herders, has once again become the scene of devastating violence. Witnesses reported widespread looting and the burning of homes during the raid. Amnesty International condemned the incident, blaming what it described as intolerable security lapses. The group called for urgent government action to protect communities and end the cycle of bloodshed. Elvin Muyodi, GBS News.
Well, moving on swiftly, President Donald Trump is considering easing the 25% tariffs on foreign auto parts from Mexico and Canada to support U.S. car makers who need more time to transition production back to the U.S. This comes as China and Vietnam strengthen the economic ties, signing multiple cooperation agreements aimed at countering the impact of U.S. tariffs.
President Donald Trump announced he is considering easing tariffs on auto imports from Mexico and Canada to support U.S. car makers who need time to shift production back to the United States. The current 25% tariffs on foreign auto parts have the potential to raise vehicle costs significantly.
Looking at something to help some of the car companies where they're switching to parts that were made in Canada, Mexico, and other places, and they need a little bit of time because they're going to make them here. A little bit of time because they're going to make them here. But they need a little bit of time. So I'm talking about things like that.
Trump's remarks comes shortly after the United States removed tariffs on smartphones and other electronics from China, suggesting a more flexible approach to trade policy in specific sectors. At the same time, Chinese President Xi Jinping met with Vietnamese leader to strengthen trade relations and cooperations on supply chains distributed by U.S. tariffs. The two countries signed numerous agreements during the visit, which Trump responded critically, accusing China and Vietnam of strategizing against U.S. interests.
I don't blame China. I don't blame Vietnam. I see their meeting today. Is that wonderful? That's a lovely meeting. They're meeting like trying to figure out How do we screw the United States of America?
These meetings comes as China faces tariffs up to 145%, while Vietnam is working to avoid a 46% tariff schedule for July, highlighting continued tensions in global trade. Triza Tiengo, GBS News.
United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres expressed deep alarm over an Israeli airstrike that struck a hospital in Gaza. The attack caused significant damage to the hospital and has exacerbated an already dire humanitarian crisis. The United Nations Human Rights Office has raised concerns over the continued loss of civilian lives in Lebanon. Despite a ceasefire agreement that took effect in late October, furthermore, Trump issued another warning to Iran to refrain from producing nuclear weapons or face severe consequences. Abdi Ahmed reports.
UN Secretary General condemned the attack on Al Ahli Hospital, which claimed the lives of 21 people. Guterres emphasized that international humanitarian law mandates the protection of medical facilities and personnel during the conflict. Medical workers on the ground confirmed that 2 Israeli missiles hit the hospital. Israel claims the hospital was being used by Hamas for military purposes, an accusation Hamas has denied. Israeli Foreign Ministry maintains that 25,000 aid trucks entered Gaza during the 42-day truce, alleging that Hamas exploited the aid to bolster its military capacity. Experts have warned that Gaza is on the brink of a famine. However, with negotiations at a standstill and humanitarian access cut off, the civilian population continues to bear the brunt of the conflict. Hamas have stated that they will look into a proposed ceasefire solution formulated by Israel. Hamas have also stated numerous times that they desire the Israeli military to leave the enclave and end the war permanently. However, Israel desires Hamas to disarm and dismantle their weapons and control of the Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, in Lebanon, ever since the ceasefire was in effect, at least 71 civilians, including 14 women and 9 children, have been killed in Israeli airstrikes, with over 92,000 people still displaced, according to the UN Human Rights Office. Hezbollah has indicated are willing to discuss disarmament if Israel stops its operation and withdraws from the south. Meanwhile, Trump has issued another warning to Iran following indirect talks that happened in Oman.
I think Iran could be a great country as long as it doesn't have nuclear weapons. If they have nuclear weapons, they'll never get a chance to be a great country. They will never get a chance. It won't even come close.
While Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei has stated that he is neither optimistic nor pessimistic about the indirect talks with the US on the possibility of forming a nuclear deal in exchange of lifting economic sanctions. The indirect talks in Oman took a positive turn with another round of negotiations in a nuclear deal that will limit Iran's production of nuclear technology, scheduled next week. Only time will tell how the situation in the Middle East will unfold. This is Abdi Hamid Ali, GBS News.
It's time for your favorite segment of the show, the Sports News. Let's get sporty. Kenya's under-20 national team received a major boost today as President William Ruto officially flagged them off at State House ahead of their AFCON campaign. With a challenging group and high national expectations, the team now heads to Morocco for a crucial training camp. Our sports reporter Elvin with a look at their send-off and what's in store.
My very best wishes.
President William Ruto today handed over the Kenyan flag to the national under-20 team at State House, Nairobi, ahead of their 10-day training camp in Morocco. He urged the players to represent the country with pride and stay focused as they gear up for the upcoming AFCON tournament in Egypt.
You have made history that this is the first ever team under 20 to qualify to play in AFCON. That in itself is a pride for us as a nation, and it is a mark of confidence that Kenya and Kenyan talent and Kenyan young people have what it takes, not just to excel in our nation, but also in our region.
Following a redraw caused by Ivory Coast's withdrawal, Kenya now faces a tough Group B with Nigeria, Morocco, and Tunisia. The team was originally set to meet debutants Sierra Leone, Zambia, and defending champions Senegal. The Under-20 AFCON kicks off on April 27th, with Kenya ready to take on Africa's best. Elvin Muyodi, GBS Sports.
Women in Karumandi are being encouraged to actively participate in football and other extracurricular activities as a way to grow their talents and improve their lives. Dominic Mugo, the founder of Karumandi Women's Football Clubs, expresses concern over the lack of support for women's football, urging the community to invest in these initiatives to help women unlock their full potential.
Women in Karumandi are being encouraged to actively participate in football and other extracurricular activities as a way of nurturing their talent and contributing to community development. Dominic Mugo, the founder of Karumandi Women's Football Clubs, expressed concern over the lack of support for women's football in the country. He called on women to embrace the sport, noting that his initiative aims to offer more than just football. He highlighted plans to introduce additional talent nurturing programs alongside football, including economic empowerment initiatives such as poultry and pig farming, which aim to create employment and support local businesses.
Nimekuwa na msukumo sana wa kuanzisha talanta za wanawake ama njia za kuwasupport the young mothers and the young women in our village wenye wamekuwa wanakaa idle, wakati mwingine hawana kitu ya kufanya, na wakati mwingine wamesahaulika sana kwa jamii. Hata wakati kuna chezo wa mipira, talanta za marathon, talanta za uibaji, unapata sana sana ni wanaume ndio wako kwa hiyo lengo. Tukiweza kuwawezesha hawa wasichana wetu kujimudu, kukuza talanta zao, wataweza kusonga mbele. Alafu kutoka hapo tuanze kuwafunza njia ya kutengeneza pesa, kama ni ukulima wa ng'ombe, kama ni ukulima wa kuku, ukulima wa nguruwe. Tunaweza jaribu vile wanaanza kujimudu kifedha, na kuanzia hapo wataanza kujikuza kwa talanta zao.
Dominic further urged parents and philanthropists to support local tournaments, emphasizing that with adequate support, these activities could help reduce social ills, promote community sobriety, and foster a healthier society.
Pia ningeweza kuomba wale donors ama sponsors ama wale watu wanaweza kusaidia, wanaweza kuja watu join, washikilia wasichana wetu, waweze kuingia katika uchezaji na kukuza talanta zao. Na kutoka hapo tutaweza kuwakuza kwa mambo ya kujipanga pia kifedha, kupanga familia zao, and we shall have a better future.
Players expressed gratitude for the opportunity brought by Football Initiative. However, they pointed out the major challenge of limited support and unequal treatment compared to men's team, calling for more investment and fairness in rewarding both genders.
Mimi naweza sema hasa kwa hizi games za hizi mipira, ukikuja kwa wanaume comes kwa hii team zenye hao wana support wanaume, wana value more venye wanawake wanaweka kwa kiwango cha chini, such that kama ni kwa kucheza mipira unakuta wanaume wamewekewa kiwango iko juu, whereas wanawake wamewekewa kiwango iko chini. Hiyo ndio inaleta changamoto na inachangia kwa wanawake wengi kutojiingiza katika michezo.
Triza Tiengo, GBS News.
Kenya's Rising Stars face a new challenge in the upcoming AFCON Under-20 tournament after a second group stage draw placed them in a tough Group B with Nigeria, Morocco and Tunisia. The draw follows the withdrawal of Ivory Coast as host, forcing the Confederation of African Football to make adjustments. Despite the tougher opponents, the team is maintaining high spirits and is fully focused on their preparations ahead of the tournament, which kicks off on 27th of April in Cairo, Egypt.
Rising Stars assistant coach Anthony Ahulia says they will adjust accordingly after a change of opponents for the group stage, following a second draw for the upcoming AFCON Under-20 tournament in Cairo, Egypt.
So far so good. So hata kama nini may change, draw may change, then kama it will affect that much. We are still preparing for the tournament because regardless kama hata tungekutana na hawa jamaa hapa Maltuko bado maybe progress bado tungekutana nao sio. So preparation so far so good. Now nothing will alter us from getting what we want.
Kenya is now in Group B with 7-time champions Nigeria, Morocco and Tunisia after the Confederation of African Football cancelled the initial draw following the withdrawal of host Ivory Coast. Initially, Kenya was set to play debutants Sierra Leone, Zambia and holders Senegal, but Tunisia's entry in the place of Ivory Coast forced a fresh draw. However, with Morocco now confirmed as one of their group opponents, their preparations in the North African football powerhouse have been technically affected. Even though the second draw seems to be tough for Kenya, Ahulia says they have already moved on.
We are going for a competition, and whoever is brought to us, we have to manage it, and we have to make sure that our team wins. Of course, tulikuwa tuna prepare juu ya Sierra Leone, juu ya Zambia, and then draw may change again. We have again to come out with a different plan. Playing Arab teams is totally different ball game from playing these other teams.
Assistant captain Baron Ochieng echoed his coach's confidence, expressing the team's high spirits and strong belief.
Tumekuwa tukitrain poa na intensity imeenda ikipanda, so confidence pia vijana imeendelea kupanda, and as you can see vile draw imechangewa. Sisi hatuna hofu yoyote because hata hizo Morocco bado tunge qualify hizo semi final quarters ilikuwa twende tupatane na hizo Morocco. So we are prepared for the task, and we are good to go.
The team has been actively engaged in friendly matches to boost match fitness, with their most recent being a 3-2 defeat to Kenyan Premier League side Tusker FC on Saturday. The tournament is scheduled to kick off on 27th of April, with host Egypt playing South Africa. Elvin Muyodi, GBS Sports.
Well, we have come to the end of the news bulletin. It is always a pleasure having you on board. Let's do this again, same time, same channel. We make your news our business. My name is Stephen George, and our sign language interpreter tonight has been Alan Kingori. Good night.
Everywhere, GBS. Everywhere, GBS.